Okay, guys, it is a historic day. I mean, one of the most insane press conferences I have ever seen in my entire life in the Oval Office between President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, JD Vance, the Vice President, Donald Trump, and it absolutely erupted into an insane shouting match. I mean, it was one of the most crazy things I've ever seen in my life. So, President Zelensky came to the United States today and apparently to sign the minerals deal, which is a whole other story, which we'll get into. But I'm not even sure that's going to happen anymore because it was wild. You had JD Vance, by the way, basically calling out Zelensky. It erupted. First of all, it showed up with Zelensky showing up at the Oval or at the White House, and Trump talks about his clothing, like he touches it, trying to like shake him down almost. It was very clear what was trying to happen here. And in the Oval Office, you have Zelensky, Vance, and Trump, and Zelensky basically arguing with Trump and Vance about the origins of the war, Trump threatening no more U.S. support for Ukraine if he does not immediately agree to a deal. JD Vance basically begging for thanks from Zelensky, saying you have not been thankful, which is utter BS. Zelensky has thanked the United States thousands of times. He's thanked the American people hundreds of times. And if you want specific thank you from the United States, or from specifically from JD Vance, why the hell would he thank JD Vance? JD Vance voted against these bills numerous times to support Ukraine. JD Vance is on the record saying he does not support Ukraine. So why the hell would Vladimir Zelensky thank JD Vance for his support? It makes absolutely zero sense. And a lot of people out there saying, oh, Trump's not going to leave Ukraine. BS. BS. He literally threatened to withdraw all support. Trump goes on a tangent basically saying, hey, he hates Putin. I mean, it's hard to make a deal that way. Bro, maybe he hates Putin because he invaded his country, killing hundreds of thousands of his civilians and taking his land. Utter nonsense. And again, we're going to show you the video in a second. I mean, the idea that Donald Trump would talk to Vladimir Putin this way is hilarious. The entire purpose of bringing Zelensky into the United States for this meeting was to shake him down and to humiliate him and embarrass him. And anyone with a brain or an IQ above 50 can tell you that as well. Very obvious why they had him in the Oval Office. The idea he was being disrespectful. He's asking for support so his country is not taken over. Okay? It is absolutely wild what just happened in the Oval Office. I mean, it is a desecration of American leadership in the world. I mean, and again, I will say, I do think it is a good thing that the president has these public sort of meetings and discussions, because I do think it kind of shows what's going on behind the scenes. So I do actually give the president credit for kind of showing this public display of what the hell actually is going on. And what actually is going on is they're nowhere near an agreement, and the president of the United States is basically supporting most of the Russian talking points. I think it's pretty clear. You have JD Vance saying the Ukrainians don't have enough soldiers and they're forcing conscripts to the line, even though that could be true, but what the hell does JD Vance know? Zelensky asked Vance to go to Ukraine and basically he'll show him because JD, you don't know what you're talking about. And then of course JD Vance says you campaign for the opposition, meaning when Zelensky was campaigning with Josh Shapiro in October, but it was like a trip for discussing Ukraine funding, not necessarily a campaign trip like Vance is mischaracterizing. I mean, the entire thing was absolutely stunning. It was stunning. Trump getting very angry, putting his finger in his face, saying, you have no cards to play. I mean, it's absolutely wild. It's wild. It's wild. Here's a full video, around 5 minutes long. The entire thing was one of the most insane things I've ever seen in the Oval Office. Before I go any further, make sure to like and subscribe. It is super good for the algorithm, and it helps out the channel immensely, and it costs you nothing. So please just do that. I would really appreciate it. And number two, if you want to help the channel in any way as well, my Patreon link is in the description. Freaking wild, okay? One of the most insane things I've ever seen. Here's a clip. Get ready.
Diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, Everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't know
God
that.
bless. You
Don't-
will not
you gotta-
have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have
in
the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
speaking about?
gambling with
What are you
World
speaking
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm-
That's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for
what-
the United
what
States
you're
of
speaking
America
about.
and the president who's trying to save your country.
The president is a disgrace. The vice president is a disgrace. The administration is a disgrace. Guys, this is breaking news. President Zelensky has just been sent home by the White House. I am not joking. President Zelensky has been sent home. His motorcade just exited the White House. President Trump released a statement saying he was disrespectful to the United States and he's being sent home to the White House. This comes after they were lecturing Zelensky. I mean, the entire thing is absolutely wild. And the minerals deal from the so-called deal maker is off the table. No deal will be signed on the minerals, which a bunch of these MAGA sycophants have been talking about for weeks now, as a big credit to President Trump that he's going to be getting this deal and he's a master negotiator. No deal. Zelensky's going home. It's a wake-up call for the Europeans. It's a wake-up call for the free world, which the United States is obviously no longer defending. I mean, it is absolutely stunning, and frankly, it's scary times ahead because, let's be honest, if you're Ukrainian right now, you can't be feeling too good. I think it's pretty clear the United States has abandoned Ukraine. That's it. They have made their bed with the Russians. I mean, they're definitely popping champagne in the Kremlin right now. Again, there's no question about that. It's absolutely stunning. And the idea that you can negotiate with Zelensky, that's of course okay, but to publicly humiliate him, which is exactly what's happening, which is exactly the purpose of this conference, it's a disgrace, okay, guys? It's a disgrace. And all these Republican influencers who don't care about anything, who are anti-American, and they just like, want to destroy everything about Ukraine, and they're very pro-Russian propagandists. I'm not going to name names, but you know who they are. Uh, they got what they wanted today, okay? And the Kremlin has friends in the Oval. Okay, that's the headline. The Kremlin has friends in the Oval. Zelensky sent home. We're seeing the Prime Minister of Poland already giving out support to the President of Ukraine. And again, this is not a question of aid, okay? I, that's a debatable point. But the idea that you're going to call the democratically elected leader of Ukraine a dictator. So, yeah, the idea that President Zelensky is going to be super happy with the current administration when you're falsely calling him a dictator is ridiculous. And like I said, JD Vance voted against these packages, that utter clown. It's wild. It's a disgrace, and it's a shame. It's a shameful day in American history. So that's what I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. It's super good for the algorithm. What a disgrace. The president of the United States sends the Ukrainian president home. No minerals deal signed. And what comes next is anyone's guess. That's what I got for you guys today, and I'll see you later. The algorithm, please just give me a boost for once. Thank you. I'll see you later.